Alrighty, for this week's trading video, I decided to combine both my New York morning sessions where I trade NASDAQ futures with my Asia trading session where I trade gold futures. The reason was because low-key I had to dip out halfway through the week and just couldn't trade. So because of that, I decided just to mash together my two trading recaps for this week. The first half of the video will be the New York session recap and the later half will be the Asia session recap. So yeah, enjoy. Alright, to start off the New York session for this week, let's do a quick recap on the account I've been trading on. Currently, I'm setting up $1,000 on this 50k eval, and I have been on this account for like 3 weeks now. I'm not really looking to pass the eval anytime soon though. All I want to do is just survive and slowly get better. So hopefully on this shorter week, I didn't do anything too stupid, right? Okay, to start off this week of trading, I did notice that price got this fat gap up to new all-time highs right off Sunday's open, and overnight price was also slowly climbing higher too. So seeing that, I low-key wanted to see price fall down to fill that gap, but we are at all-time highs, so we could just keep going up today. At the start of the New York session though, price did swipe these highs before heading lower, so maybe we will fill that gap first. Nope, price held, and we kind of just were stalling out for a bit, so I wasn't loving the price action this morning. We did get a pop higher though, so I was leaning more towards longs, but with volume being a little lower than usual and price not really moving as much, I decided to just sit and wait for today, where price did end up slowly going up, but I just wasn't a fan of these smaller moves in general, so I did just hop off the charts here to wrap up another no trade day on a Monday. After taking no trades yesterday, it looks like price did just slowly climb higher, so damn, maybe I should have just taken some longs. Overnight though, price did range a bit before getting this fat pop up a little before New York open, so I really didn't like seeing that because I do want to see price just fall back down, but since we are trending bullish at all-time highs, I guess I gotta just keep going for longs. And off open, price proceeded to pop even higher. That did get slapped down for a little pullback, but it was a little too far for me to try a long, so I waited. Where a bit later, price did get another fat slap down, so I was looking for a long if we could get a decent buying response here, which we did get with this fat wick off the moving average line at the end of this red candle, so I tried a long. But yeah, price was still selling off strong because this next candle just came back down and stopped me out for a loss to start off today. However, literally right after stopping me out, price popped back up, so I was pissed. I tried to calm myself down, but I was just fiending to catch a move up, so I ended up going to the 1 minute chart for an entry where I took a long looking for this 1 minute moving average line to bounce price to the highs. I even added 3 more contracts after price held here looking to get that quick pop higher, but we ended up stalling out for a bit. With that, it wasn't looking great, so I did move my stop loss to break even looking for price to pop up now or never, which yeah, I just got tagged out at break even on that one. After that trade, I should have just stopped and waited because it was looking a bit choppy right now, but instead I still got that FOMO we would pop up higher without me, so I jumped right back in a long looking for price to bounce up after this quick stab lower. Setup wise, it was a bit trash because while I am banking on the moving average line to hold here, we really didn't meet anything else on my entry checklist, like no higher highs for a trend, and I didn't even wait towards the end of this candle to enter on. Because of the riskier setup, I was going to tighten up my stop loss to below this wick and moving average line, but something in my head was like, it's the last trade you can take today, might as well give it as much room to play with, right? Yeah, that was just a stupid mistake as price ended up dropping even more to stop me out for another decent loss on the day. So had I just not taken that last trade or actually tied up my stop loss like I'm supposed to, I would have walked away with a smaller loss today. Instead, I'm ending today by hitting my daily loss limit of $500. So yeah, yesterday was pretty bad for me, but for today, it wasn't any better. Looking at the charts, I did see price ended up pushing higher after the morning session yesterday, and overnight price also slightly popped higher, but before New York open, price was kind of ranging here, so I wasn't too sure we would see anything good today, especially because we do have FOMC later too. And yeah, off open, price started the session off with a wick in both directions, so it was looking a bit choppy to me. I was leaning a bit more bullish though, but first I wanted to clean break and retest of these highs before doing anything, which we did get that break higher, but that was getting immediately slapped back down, so I really wanted to try a short looking at this as a fake move higher. It wasn't really a setup though, so I waited a bit more where price did end up coming back down towards this moving average line. This still wasn't a real setup for a short though, but I still took it because originally this would be a long setup for me with a higher high and a bounce off my moving average line, but I just didn't like long, so I tried to inverse it. However, instead of getting that break lower, price just stalled out up here, so it wasn't looking great. Still, the longer we dance with the moving average line, the more likely there will be a break, so I held on. And no, price got a slow pop up to stop me out for a loss. With that, I may have snapped a little because with the lower volume, I still didn't believe we would get a pop higher right now, so I doubled down on my short bet up here and took another one. This time there was no setup signs at all, and I could just be immediately wrong if price continued to pop higher, but we didn't, as we finally got some decent selling momentum to push price lower. With that, I did move my stop loss to break even just in case we did bounce up though. However, I didn't have to worry about that as price did just keep heading lower to quickly hit my target for a fat profit. Since I wasn't really following my rules pulls or setups at all today, I decided just to call it there to walk away with a decent green day despite the lack of discipline. Okay, yeah, that was a trash week for me rule-wise, so maybe it was a good thing I couldn't trade the last 2 days, but what's done is done, and with this week's trades, it does bring my overall PL on the eval down to about 900 bucks, which isn't too bad considering that this week I did let my emotions get the best of me. For example, Tuesday, I kind of let that FOMO get to me for 2 trades, causing a bigger red day than I would have had, and Wednesday, while it was a green day, both trades didn't fit any of my real setups, which on that day, if I had waited patiently, there was a short setup I could have taken that appeared in the middle of my second trade, so yeah, just me losing to my emotions, but hey, at least it wasn't as bad as the gold trading sessions. Alrighty, for this week's gold recap, I decided to switch back to the 5-minute chart because last week when I tried the 15-minute chart, it didn't go so well. So because of last week, I'm now on a new 50k eval with MyFundedFutures, so that's another 73 bucks gone from my wallet. With this new eval though, it may be the last one I buy for these gold recaps if I crash out and blow it, so hopefully I don't do that. Alright, so to start off this week on gold, I barely got back from my little weekend trip in time to trade, so I didn't record anything because I was just too tired and a little hungover. Overall though, I was bearish on the day and was just trying some shorts out. I did accidentally take one more trade than I wanted because I can't count to 3, I guess, so I ended the day with 4 trades instead of 3, but overall I was able to end today with a small green day of like 200 bucks to start off this week and the new account. Okay, first actual day back to recording on the charts, and for today I did see gold has been selling off during the other sessions, but we are finding some support down here and bouncing back up, so I was leaning more bullish unless we broke lower. Off Asia Open though, I saw a chance to enter along with the previous candles bouncing off both the moving average lines on the 5-minute and 15-minute time frame. It was a little more riskier because it is literally like the first few minutes of Asia Open, but a setup's a setup, so I took a stab long, and yeah, a few minutes later I was wrong for a decent loss to start off today. After that, price did keep heading lower, but it did get this fat bounce after swiping these lows. Seeing this fat buying response push price right back up and through the moving average line, I decided to place a limit order looking for a potential setup with price getting a quick retest of this moving average line, which we got, but price ended up bouncing back up like 1 point away from my limit order. So yeah, I missed out on this long and decided to just sit and watch instead of trying to chase in up here. But price went on to climb to the highs of this area pretty easily, so damn, that was probably the last good chance I'm gonna get today. Seeing that I was bummed out I didn't catch the move, so I did just hop off the charts here before I chased into a worse trade due to some FOMO. With that though, I am walking away with a slight L today, which basically cancels out yesterday's dub. Alrighty, so looking at the charts, it seems like gold just kept selling off after I got off yesterday, but we did get a decent bounce during New York session, so I was still leaning more bullish for now, looking for price to head higher. And at the start of the session, price did get this pop higher before pulling back, so I was tempted to take a long, but I wanted to see price pull back just a little more before entering, which I didn't get as price just took off without me. With that, I was pretty sure I missed my only opportunity for longs today, but I waited a bit more just to make sure, where eventually I tried a long after seeing this fat candle push off the moving average line. Since we were at the highs of this area though, this was a little riskier because gold has been selling off hard the past few days, but seeing this fat green candle, I was expecting price to continue pushing up with that strong buying momentum, but yeah, we didn't get that, and instead price kind of just stalled up here. So with that buying momentum disappearing on me, I really just wanted to bail out of this long, but this probably would be my only trade today, so I just left the trade alone, which yeah, price just came down to tag me out for a fat loss. Right after that, I was about to log off for the day, but price suddenly was getting that bounce I wanted, so yeah, I ended up jumping right back in along, looking for price to finally get that break higher. But again, those buyers just disappeared and price ended up failing to even reach the highs. With that, I should have just bailed out and accepted the loss because I wasn't getting what I wanted. However, instead, I decided to tighten up both my stop loss and target to see if maybe we could get at least a pop higher. Nope, price just got rejected to stop me out for another loss today. With that, I guess price was going to continue selling off, but I really didn't have enough drawdown left to trade with, so I stopped here to bring home a fat red day of over 400 bucks today. Yeah, not the best way to start the eval, so maybe I should just avoid gold in the Asia session, because with this shorter week I ended in the red down like 300 bucks or so, and yeah, that's just my fault because I was too stubborn and didn't follow my rules properly. Had I not done that, I would have ended the week more break even or a little bit in the green, but yeah, there's just no excuse to me fumbling with my rules now. So if this continues for the rest of this eval, it may be the last time I trade gold and Asia session for a while. Well, you've made it to the end of this video, and to reward you, I'll give you some new info. So yeah, this week I kind of had to combine the recaps together because I did have to dip out to help with some family health stuff, but everything should be fine, I think. With this combo video though, that does mean I won't have another video out till next week, but yeah, I gotta go, so I'll see you then.